Welcome back, Trojan family, for another Conquest Call-In Show, where you guys are going to be the star of the show. We'll get you started. We'll go over a couple of topics. We want to hear from you guys. Phone number 888-997-4539, 888-99-RILEY. Give us a call. Sound off on the season. We're going to talk a little bit about the punt game. Then also we're going to go with some keys to what we will see as a successful season. I guess, Ryan, we have to define that first, right? All those things, your calls next. Well, Ryan, another week goes by, and we're just a little more than 2 weeks away from the kickoff of the regular season. I know you've been busy, but all you casuals out there, which there probably aren't many if you're on here almost 3 weeks before the season watching a call-in show, but get ready, you guys, because it's going to heat up. These are some fun topics tonight, but remember, you don't have to stick to our topics. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions or hear your thoughts on the upcoming season. But Ryan, as always, let's just start off with a little conversation. How you doing today?
What's up, brother? I am fantastic. Always good to see your face. I know you are busy back at the day job, so always good that you still carve out time for the Trojan family and hang out with me. I was at practice today, so that was fun. But I'm good, man. Always good to be with you, and glad we're doing the call-in show together.
Not a whole lot of news coming out of practice today, but did anything besides Riley's comments on the punt catch your eye or your ear?
No. I'm trying to think back. I mean, they're so well trained with their thoughts. I think I was talking to Walker. I don't know if you've talked to Walker Lyons before, right? Tight end.
Yeah.
I think he's he's actually a pretty good interview. But asked him about kind of who's standing out on defense, and the names he brought up were Jaden Walker at linebacker, Elijah Newby at linebacker, and then also Kennedy Urlacher. So I think the fact that those two linebackers are names that keep popping up, Walker and Newby with the flexibility of edge linebacker, just shows, I think, how much Rob Ryan's coaching has already helped, and also just how those guys have developed from being freshmen last year to now. And then Kennedy Urlacher, Tim, I feel like that his name gets brought up every time. Like when he transferred from Notre Dame, I think we all thought like, okay, cool, this is a special teams guy that can maybe kind of play for reps. Sounds like this dude's going to play like a good amount on defense just based on the praise he's getting in practice. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, there's some solid bloodlines, on this team, and Kennedy Urlacher is one of them. It's apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and if he has, that grit, that nastiness, his dad hitting, but you saw that a little bit, when he got his moments at Notre Dame, and he made them count. It looked like, so yeah, interesting when you start hearing this name pop up, quite often from the coaches. So that's some great news right there. Yeah. But let's go ahead. Let's go into it right now. So the kicking game. Kristen just brought it up as well. We're talking about the other side. He's talking about the field goal kicking. We can talk about that in a minute. And by the way, guys, Kristen, if you want to call in, 888-997-4539. Love to hear from you. But Lincoln Riley said that the punt return game is one of the most important things on the field, and we know that. I mean, it's just not football talk. It's not just coach speak. Your special teams have a way of changing things. Last year, Eddie Shaplicki really helped USC in a lot of games, pinning teams down, being that Ray Guy award-winning punter would just flip the field. Another way you can flip the field is when you have an elite guy with a ball in his hand, an athlete with a ball in his hand, like a running back, like a Lemon, right? And it looks like Riley gave him the nod today. So you were there at practice. What did he have to say?
Yeah, so basically, I mean, he didn't, as Riley, very politically correct, always didn't say he was for sure, but basically said, yeah, right now, Mekhi Lemon is in the lead with Zacharias Williams, most likely as the 2 in terms of punt return. And I'm with that. I'm for it. As a former all-state high school punt returner, wow. Definitely not all-state, more like JV, but I did do punt return in high school. It's important because you need a guy that you can trust to just not drop the football. I know it sounds simple enough, but when you have a guy that's either nervous or not comfortable back there, it's a high stress, high pressure situation, especially if you're in goal line and where you put your heels at. And if you're catching the ball behind the 10, which you should never do. So you got to have a guy you trust to catch it. And then obviously, as you mentioned, Tim, a guy that can actually like flip the field a little bit and get some wiggle in space, break some tackles and push you further down the field. So I know a lot of fans, because I saw when that kind of came out, I think some people at practice tweeted about it, and a lot of fans like, oh, why are we putting our best player back at punt return? This isn't the NFL where 53 guys on the roster are all professionals. Like, it's college football where that drop off from like the starters to like when we're talking special teams can be fairly big. Not saying Zacharias Williams wouldn't be acceptable, but you want to have a guy you trust out there that can do it. And so I'm all for, I think we kind of touched on it last week actually a little bit, but I'm all for Makai Lemon kind of being that guy just because I trust he can do it. He's, to me, looked the most comfortable in the practice reps when you see these guys catching punts at the beginning of practice. So I think that'll be good. I would not be surprised if Zacharias Williams grows within the position, that maybe he takes that over at some point. There's a clip, I don't know whenever you want to show it, Tim, but there's a clip I got today of Lincoln Riley was with the punt returners during practice, and he was coaching up Zacharias during these drills. And because, a lot when you're catching under it, it's not only are you, having to scope the ball at where it is, but then it's, okay, is this a fair catch situation? Is this a Peter situation? Is this I'm going to catch and go situation? So there's a lot that has to happen in a very short.
Sorry about that.
No, that's good.
You're getting muted over the volume on that, so it's just playing the volume through it. But
I should know that. There you go. Not tech, but so anyway, so I'll just say, so a lot of times Zacharias was catching the ball kind of high up. He wasn't kind of tracking it right to catch in the breadbasket. So Riley's kind of telling him how to track it. So if you want to show it, I'll stop talking.
you got a little Makai Lemon doing some backup dancing for you as well in that shot. But
there you go. So
yeah,
your thoughts?
Well, there's a lot of times when a punt and return, whether it could be on the bad side of it, we have a Rocket Ishmael, right? Or Tim Brown. If you go back to see some old clips from the 80s and Tim Brown snatching victory from the Trojans with a big punt return. But then think of like all the times Reggie Bush. You want to have the ball in the hands of your best athlete on punt return.
Yeah. Because
the game can turn on a dime. I mean, yes, they had 3 or 4 clips, but was it Tom Zbikowski or whatever? And then a 2005 game on the big punt return. So the game can turn on, and again, there were some clips on that play, but a game can change really quickly on a punt return, having that dynamic playmaker back there, whether or not taking it all the way to the house, flipping the field, getting your team at 20, 30 yards, maybe when they're having a little bit difficulty moving the ball. I think these things might be really important during the season, and it's no surprise why they're turning to a veteran guy they can trust who, let's face it, when he gets the ball, you see all the time those crossers he does, and he's just like hurling guys. You just think he's going to break tackles and get those extra yards. So I'm excited about it. I'm worried because again, you can't be afraid. Like Coach said, you can't be afraid of injuries. It's true. It's football, but man, a lot could happen on a punt return. But I think the reward is far outweighs any concerns or worries about injury in that situation.
Yeah, not to scare anyone, but this all-pro punt returner did break his collarbone on punt return, so that was unfortunate. In practice, getting laid out by our starting linebacker. So
yeah, it happens. So you guys' thoughts on that risk reward? I mean, obviously, I think if we're going to landslide, because everyone here is going to want to see the big plays, but yeah, I'm interested to see. So he's going to be doing kick returns last year. He's one of the best kick returners in the Big Ten as well last year. Once he got onto the field, it's too bad we didn't see a little more of him earlier in the season. Zachariah Branch did have that one where I thought in that very first game of the season, he was coming right at me at the LSU game, and I thought he was gonna take it. He was like one tackle away, but then just on the punt return, on the kick returns, and just didn't seem like he was himself. After that, it was kind of weird the way he just, I don't know, he didn't have that. He had that sophomore slump. He didn't have that same kind of like electricity he had in that very first season with the Trojans. So
I mean, he was a Jet Award winner, like special teamer of the year, like as a true freshman. I still don't fully understand. Like we've all speculated, like, did he put too much weight on? So he lost speed. Was it something else? Like it was just bizarre, but you could, as Rusty said, like you could certainly see when they decided to pull the plug on Zach Branch on kick return and make Mekhi Lemon the kick return, like there was a large difference in field position and momentum shifts when Mekhi Lemon was back there. So, and I think he can do the same on punt return.
Yeah, getting out of the shadow of your own end zone, whether it be, 25 is not exactly a shadow of your own end zone, but getting that ball out towards the 40-yard line, when your team is having a little bit of trouble moving the ball, like USC did have at times last year, it could be a game changer on kickoffs, and it could be a game changer on punt returns. This is just they're doubling down. They're going to have him returning kicks and punts this year, and his all-purpose yards are going to be through the roof. So, excited for that.
And just sorry to cut you off, Tim, but just like Wayman Jordan, Eli, I think Wayman Jordan, Eli Sanders for sure. I don't know if Brian Jackson, but those two for sure have been taking kick return reps also. So they have options as well if late in the game is tired or whatever, which I don't think it'll be an issue. But looks like we have a caller.
We do have a caller. Hi, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Dwayne from San Diego. How you guys doing today?
Dwayne, recognize his voice. Dwayne has his own podcast. Dwayne, you want to give yourself a little plug before we go in your question, your comment?
Student Body Right USC podcast. Check us out when you're not checking out this show, the Tim show. So check it there, and also make sure you check out what we're writing on LAFB as well. I hope that Williams is a good enough punt returner where I can just I have to worry about Zach doing it. I could see Zach doing it, like say we're down 4 in Lemon doing it, like say down 4 and we get us against Notre Dame where he could change the game with a return touchdown, things like that. We're not thin at wide receiver. But we know that Lemon and Lane are the guys. And I want to see them have as many targets as possible because both of those guys are so dynamic as well. And I think the one thing I want to say about the season as far as schedule goes is, this two things about it. One thing is this be a year, especially if they beat Michigan, can this be a year where USC goes undefeated at home? I think the schedule kind of lends up to that. And then also, can they go 2-2 again at Notre Dame, at Nebraska, at Oregon, and at Illinois? I think if you're looking for a team to get to the playoff, I think kind of the formula they would need to follow to do so.
They're going to have to. I'm seeing some predictions in the the crowd here in the chat. So and we're going to get to that in a moment, because we are going to go into what we think the keys are going to be for a successful season. And obviously, Ryan, we're going to have to, you and I got to come together and say, well, we think a successful season is going to look like for USC this year. There's a lot of people in the crowd, and you have the realists, and then you have the guys that are ready to go. But what do you think about just giving guys like Lemon just as extra touches and how special that could be on the season?
Yeah, like I said, and Dwayne, I hear you. Like if Williams ends up being, and like I said, I think he could be a guy that potentially can take that over. Because he has, as good as Lemon is, Williams is a faster guy. Like he has more breakaway speed. So if he's able to, you feel comfortable with him, no issues catching punts, which is obviously first and foremost, catch the damn punt, right? As long as he can do that, then you could see that change potentially happen. But I have no problem with Lemon doing it, because when you think of like game-wrecking players, even at the NFL level, right? Like Tyreek Hill catches punts still sometimes. Like we've seen some of these receivers who are wide receiver ones on their teams in the NFL, but they're just that special that you want the ball in their hands at all times. And college is very different. And Tim, like you mentioned, Reggie Bush catching punts. Like you have guys back there that you just risk that injury. I know it's risky, but the reward is too great. So I agree with you, Dwayne, though. Like if Williams can kind of take that baton at some point, I think he has the potential to actually be really good at it, which is the reason why. So I wouldn't want him to take it to save Lemon. I would want him to take it because he's actually an upgrade. But I have no problem with Lemon being the guy just because I fully trust him. And, that's first and foremost is trust.
Yeah.
And a question for Tim real quick before I go. I saw that, I don't know if I was a fake tweet or whatever, but did UCLA just get a transfer from Tulsa for the offensive line.
The UB, that's Ryan. That's Ryan's strike zone.
It's not my strike zone, but they did. Yes, I did see that.
Okay. They did it. Okay. So are there any I'm just like getting ready for the NCAA to say no to DJ. So if that does happen, have you kind of looked at any of the options here, or they're just going to go with the folks who are already on the roster? And I'll hang up. I'll see you. Take care.
Thanks, Dwayne.
As always, great call, Dwayne.
Dwayne's gonna be writing for us at LAFB here soon. So exciting stuff. So
that's awesome.
But I don't know if you want to answer his question.
Well, no, I was just gonna say to you. I'm not really familiar with the situation. I was up to my elbows and shoulders in 11th grade students today. So
I think he's basically saying if Wingfield ends up getting denied, which I think on Monday is when we find out, Monday or Tuesday, the 17th or 18th is when we find out. If he's denied, will USC look to anybody still out there in the portal? I'll be honest, I don't know of any players still in the portal. Obviously, there are, like Dwayne said, UCLA just signed someone today, which is crazy. There's still guys out there this close to the season. But based on what we've heard, and things can change, but based on the vibe the coaches give us, they're comfortable with the way the room is. So I'm sure fans I would hear that, but they seem like they're good either way, whether Wingfield's there or not.
The available choices probably out there right now at this point, this late in the cycle, are not going to see the field before a number of the younger and very talented but unproven guys that we have on our team. So no, I don't see them picking someone up. That I would be shocked if they did.
Yeah, exactly. So, and talk is cheap, but they seem very bullish on this young group. So I'm excited to see it. I mean, Micah Benuelos, Hayden Shredder, like they've been doing nothing but praises, but it's all talk. It's all lip service till we see it out there. But they seem very, very excited about this young group.
Regardless. Well, and remember, you could only have one guy playing right tackle. So, I mean, between Raymond and Tuanu, I think that I've been saying for a while, I think Raymond's might be that guy. I don't know. I don't know why I'm saying that. It's going to be Micah and Raymond fighting out that, if Wingfield can't make it, it's those two guys will be fighting out for that starting position is my guess.
Yeah. And I still they haven't said this, but I would not be shocked if they try Killian O'Connor at one of the guard spots if needed. Like he's so beloved on that team as like a leader. Jean-Ray Reed is the starting center. Like they haven't said it, but he's basically won that job. But I think I wouldn't be shocked if they try, if they needed to, if whatever. I just think Killian O'Connor's done enough in that room to win some respect to give a shot. So instead of just
following the Rams, you like centers that move to guard, don't you? So
hey, look at our guy Justin Dedich. He's played both center and guard last game in the preseason.
You got it. Okay, guys, we're gonna go a little faster because this is gonna be a shorter show. Appreciate everybody being here as always. Support's great. Really appreciate everyone being here. Remember, tell your friends. Wednesday night, 7:00. Next time we talk, it'll be about 10 days before the season. or 11 days before the season. So we're going to do a lot of predictions, I think, on that show. So I'm going to rely heavily on your phone calls. We're going to get a bunch of predictions from you guys. Caller, hi. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's going on, Tim? This is Chris.
Chris, see, Chris, I called you out and you came in, didn't you? What's up, Kristen?
How you been, man? Good to hear from you.
Good to hear from you, too. Long time.
Yes, sir. And everyone has their opinion. Me personally, I believe Lemon should be returning punt and kick. I mean, if you get your high-quality wide receivers from a more physical time in football, Sean Jackson, your Tavon Austin, your Ward, you got to have your best players out on the field. They play wide receiver at every game, return kick. So I'm all for Lemon returning because when he came in, he changed our whole kickoff return game. Like before him, our average was 20 yards or less. When he came, I mean, every time he touched the ball, I mean, he was getting us a dang near minute. Like, he's explosive. We gotta have him return the kick just to be able to flip the field.
And I'm with Ryan. I think you will see Zacharias Williams emerge as well. That's a good combo. He's a big guy too. I mean, I was watching some of his film. You are not going to arm tackle that guy. So I mean, I'm excited to see what that punt return game can do because I do believe And one thinks I'm a hater. I'm not. I want to be totally wrong, but I think that this team, this offense is going to struggle at sometimes. Maybe early game, maybe when they just need to get moving. There's nothing like a big return to get your offense going. And if it's just like, a punch in the arm just to get you going, that kind of a play is going to take a little bit of pressure off of quarterback, if you know what I'm saying, and then allow them to get in a groove and allow the offense to get moving. So great point.
And what it also do is, if you're on the road, it silence the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
That's the quickest way to take it out of a game, right? If they score or get a field goal, or they make a big play or something, and you get the kickoff return, and it's like the quickest way to hush them up. A big punt return when you're on the road.
And I'm thinking about 2 games.
Crowd quicker than a good return.
And I'm thinking about 2 games, Kristen. I'm thinking about Autzen and Notre Dame, 2 places to get really rowdy. And I have heard a USC team shut Austin up. If they get out to a little lead, or if you get a 3 and out and then a big punt return, you're right. That's the kind of thing that takes the air out of the crowd, doesn't it? So that's another brilliant point. Great job.
Most definitely. I know we're talking about punt return. You may mention we'll talk about it later. A comment. I don't think we stressed it enough this offseason. I know we got a new kicker from Bacon. I mean, he was only 78% last year, but it's not even just that we missed 5 field last year. On top of that, we had 2 blocks. Like, if we don't have our field, it's going to come down to some games. Maryland was up 7 in the 4th quarter, about to go up 10 and had a field goal block. That's one of them. And that turned the whole momentum of the game. So if we're not sound on offense, especially with field goal kicking, and we can't even block on field goal kicking, it's going to be a long year. And hopefully that's cleaned up this year. The new kicker we got, I know he's up for preseason awards, but looking at him from last year, he was 78%. And hopefully he can get that better and we can get that together, because we can't have a season like that. That's a lot of points out there on the field, and they have connected the most inopportune time.
Yeah. There were 2 or 3 punts blocked last year. It's just it was.
Well, we had 2 field goals. We had 2 field goals blocked, and then he just missed 5. And I mean, he was missing from like the 10-yard line. I mean, I guess that's the reason he got a new kicker in. So hopefully it's remedied.
Well, Ryan, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what Chittenden is really like once we see him in action. But I think he was pretty good at UNLV.
Got a big leg.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Kristen, 70, almost 79%. But I think that the key is, and I'm looking at it right now because I would have known it off the top of my head, but between 30 and 39 yards, he was 8 of 9, and 40 to 49 yards, he was 7 of 8. So only 2 missed kicks from 30 to 50. And then his long is 52. He's 1 for 4 from plus 50. So seems to have a pretty big leg, but pretty consistent in that kind of that mid-range field goal that seemed to, like you're mentioning, Kristen, was just like the kryptonite of USC. Like, I think our kicker last year, Lance, was fairly good, like short yardage, obviously, but it was when we were like that 35 to 42 yards. It was like, it's either going to get blocked or missed. And we saw that happen Minnesota, Maryland, Penn State. So if we can get some consistency on those just mid-range kicks, not asking the guy to make 56, 57 yarders, but just hit those 33, 34 yarders consistently, that's going to be a huge difference maker. So only 1 year of production that we've seen from Chittenden at UNLV, but I agree that's going to be a big part of this offense, and he seems to be the part. So we'll see how it plays out.
Well, great call, Kristen. Hey, listen, thank you. I hope you call in again. This is kind of a quick show tonight, so we're kind of moving through it. We got 2 calls we got to get through, but appreciate you calling.
Thanks, Kristen.
Hope you call back again soon.
Have a good night. Fight on.
You too.
Thanks, bro. Fight on.
Yeah. Special teams. I'm telling you guys, it's. I know our defense is what keeps a lot of games, and I'm really excited and bullish on the offense, but you do need all 3 legs of the game, because we saw losing close games like we did last year. The Maryland game that Kristen just brought up. I mean, that getting a blocked field goal matters, right? Going all the way back to that painful Tulane loss. I mean, yes, the defense kind of folded, but it started with that botched kickoff. I mean, it's just, you really got to be tight your special teams game. And if you want to have the kind of season that a lot of people are calling for 11-1, 10-2, 9-3 out there. Other people are saying 8-4. But if you want to get upper towards those, 11-1, 10-2 type regular seasons, you're going to need a solid special teams. And we did with Eddie Shipley last year. The punting really kept us in a lot of games. I think, most fans, it went right over their heads. A lot of you guys aren't casuals. You understood just how he was pinning teams, especially against Michigan. There were a lot of times where he was flipping the field, and let's hope the return game can do that and bring in Chittenden. Maybe, like you just said, Ryan, he's nails from that middle to long range field goal. So that, those late night worries where you're worried about that long field goal at the end of the game. I tell you what, I don't think many Trojan fans are going to be too excited to see a game come down to a field goal last year. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, let's not have too many of those.
I think we're going to get out. Sorry, we do have a caller, but I think we are going to get out of here. We're up against that half-hour mark. I did say that we were going to be getting out of here early. We didn't even get to, so we're going to roll over to next week. We're going to roll over the keys to the Trojans' successful season. We'll start off with that, and then, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to go into just a bunch of predictions. Ryan, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. We're going to talk touchdowns. We're going to talk receiving yards. We're going to talk about rushing yards. Might be the easiest one of the group. We're going to talk about maybe some over/under for touchdowns and interceptions for our quarterback. We're going to talk about points per game on offense and defense. And as always, what you all want to hear about, we're going to talk about record. So make sure you're tuning in. Make sure you're checking out every single day here at LAFB. Last night, go watch the coach and Jamal did a show last night on the channel. And I believe they're doing a show again tomorrow. So we're going to put up content almost every single day. I know, Ryan, you're cranking out videos as well. Any feature articles that you want to plug right now before we get out of here?
Nothing real featured. Some recruiting news for we're already getting into 2027 recruiting now, which is crazy. I feel like I'm still in the weeds of 2026 recruiting, but a few 27 tidbits up on LAFBnetwork.com. You can check out. So, and I'm going to have a bunch up tomorrow too. So tune in for that.
Yeah, there was a darn good conversation going on about schedule. So you guys save those thoughts for next week. We will get into that and much, much more. Thanks again for tuning in. For Ryan, it's Tim. You guys have a great week. And this time next week, we'll be so close, about 10 days from the end of the season. So bring your guys' predictions. Tell your friends. Make sure if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, why not? Please subscribe. We'll be here every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Any last word, Ryan?
No, always good to see you. Thank you, Trojan family. Always, we want to blow this thing up. So let's keep it growing. And appreciate you all and everyone fight on.